Okay, so a few weeks ago, I started a video about, well, it was a plant chores video, and I started doing like some major maintenance on my Hoya cabinet. Oh, you can probably hear Bernadette drinking her water in the background. Anyway, so I decided that I wanted to repot everything in that cabinet, and I ended up, now May's drinking Bernadette's water. Okay, so I decided that I wanted to repot everything. I don't like the just straight cocoa chips as a growing medium very much, and it's been really hot here, so I was dealing with a lot of root rot, so I just kind of did a major overhaul. I wanted to just go ahead and repot just about everything in there, and I ended up finding some root rot because it's been so hot. It's really hard to keep things watered, especially in the cocoa chip mix. So I just kind of redid everything in that cabinet, and I don't know how long this video is going to be, but yeah, we're just going to do some maintenance to my Hoya cabinet. Also, I know my videos have been a lot less consistent lately, and that is because of May 100%. We're trying to train her to be a good dog, not just a dog, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's been a lot of work, and the potty training and all the vet visits, because she was just like a little feral dog. So yeah, she's been kind of a handful. She is getting better. She can stay out of her crate all day during the day with pretty minimal disasters. But yeah, I don't know how people do it. Like people with like human children, I have no idea how they manage. Like I have my hands full with a couple of dogs. So that's why I haven't been making as many videos lately. Don't eat that. May is just a little handful. Okay, so I'm in front of the Fabricor now. I know that this like cocoa coir kind of mix is what people really like to grow Hoyas in, but I just don't like it. I'm not able to keep them watered enough, and I feel like I water them pretty frequently, at least probably more than once a week, especially during the summer, but I just don't like that growing medium of just straight bark. I feel like for me they do better in more of a chunky soil, so I'm gonna repot all of them. Go big or go home, right? Okay, so I've got 2 trays of Hoyas. I'm not gonna repot all of them today. That was the plan, but I don't know that that is wise. So I'm gonna repot the ones that were on the bottom shelf today, do the rest another day. Taking a little coffee break too. So interesting. I just noticed something interesting about my watermelon Dischidia. They're just very different leaf shapes all in the same pot. So I'm gonna repot this little thing first. Another thing that's very popular that I don't like are these little tiny, teeny tiny cups. I think they just outgrow them so fast, and I don't like it. Here is a little Hoya rain sand splash that I got from my friend Kenna, and it is very well rooted in this moss. So time for some soil. So I try to get as much of the moss off as I can, and I definitely do break some roots doing it, but it's just kind of unavoidable, and plants can regenerate roots pretty quickly. Okay, so I'm hoping that this is a little bit better angle. I don't know why I'm struggling with the angles. Actually, I do. Like I said, I've taken a little bit of a break. So for some reason, I'm having a hard time figuring out how to get back in the swing of things. Here is my little variegated Hoya obovata. Yeah, this is the exact type of potting mixture that I just don't like. It dries out just way too fast. In the greenhouse, it might be different, like if I could water every single day with the hose, but in the house, I can't keep it watered enough. So I guess it would actually probably be even worse in the greenhouse. I'm not sure how people are growing Hoyas and this stuff. But that just goes to show, I mean, people say it all the time, but you've just got to find what works for you and your plants, because something that's really popular, like cocoa chips for Hoyas, and everybody swears by it, may not work for you. So, and that's fine. It doesn't necessarily mean you're doing anything wrong. It just, however it works for you to care for your plants. Okay, that's as much as I'm gonna get off of there. I've also seen people grow a lot of Hoyas in cocoa coir, and I like that way better than coconut bark or cocoa chips. Yeah, that's what it's called. Oh, I forgot to show you the plant. It's a Hoya Marillii. So are you guys, if you're a Hoya person, are you more of a fan of the big veined leaves, or do you like the little leaves? Like, oh, someone's barking in their sleep. Or the little leaves like that. I'm really torn. I'm really on a Hoya kick this year. So I got this little Hoya Sarawak around Christmas, and it has not grown at all for me. So time to get it out of this bark. Yeah, the roots don't look very good at all. So what I'm going to do is cut all of these roots off and just stick it in water and reroot it, because all these are rotten. So I've had really good luck with this method on Hoyas that have gotten root rot. I just stick them in water and they usually reroot pretty quickly. So speaking of, I don't know if you guys remember this Hoya decay. I could not get it to root for the life in me. And I stuck it in water a few weeks ago and we have roots. So yay. And when I rerooted that one, I tried it in Fluval first in like February when I made my first video about it. Only video about it actually. That I put it in there. Didn't work out. So I had it in there for a long time and it tried to grow several new leaves, but they all just like, at a certain point, they all fell off. Oh wow. I think this is going to require a little bit bigger pot. I can't remember what this is called, but look at that cute little Hoya. I recently traded for this one. I don't know what it is, but I can't remember Hoya names. Hoya and Scindapsus, I really like both of them. I'm looking to add more to my collection. I like them. I think they're really cool. But for some reason, I just cannot, I don't know, my brain won't retain the names of them. But like philodendron names are very easy for me to remember. I don't know. And I wouldn't say that I'm less interested in Scindapsus and Hoya, but can you see it? Cute. So this one rooted so, oh, this is really cool. This rooted so well. I know this is not the pot that I want. I want one of these 3-inch pots. And I know that this, I just feel like I can get rot a lot more easily in this barky stuff than a soil mixture. So, well, maybe not. This has a little bit more soil though. Oh gosh, dang it. Why were you holding on to that by that? Well, I just snapped off a piece of the plant. Oh well. Yeah, I don't really, I know there are a lot of people who will almost like cry if they snap off a piece of their plant by accident or something. I don't know. And I would call myself a very anxious person. Plants just don't make me anxious though. They're just, it is what it is. I'm able to accept that I just snapped off this new growth and it's all right. I'm not worried about it. I'm not gonna lose sleep over a plant. And I think that's why I like it so much. Like, it's kind of a break from my anxiety. And I know it is not that way for everyone. A lot of people do worry pretty intensely for their plants. But they're just such a great escape for me. And the cool thing about it is like whatever they're doing that's not right or whatever, it's like you can adjust your behavior to help them, but it's not personal, you know? Like I hear people who say like, oh, these plants hate me, but like, I mean, it's just like humor, but yeah, plants have been a great lesson for me to like learn to not take things personally when they're not, because I mean, most of the time it's not. Whatever's going on is not personal. Like if you hit a bunch of red lights, the universe is not doing that to you. You just happen to hit a red light, you know? But my journey to realizing that plants have been instrumental in it. So this watermelon Dischidia, this is gonna be one that I move out to the greenhouse just because like the little cuttings that I have grown out there have done so much better than this one has in the house, which honestly probably all these would do better out there. But this has been surprisingly one of the plants that I sell the most of. So it's going to move out there and be more of a parent plant for me than decoration. I don't know why it surprises me. It's a really cool plant and it's easy to grow, but it's less expensive, and I mean sometimes you can find them at garden centers, so I'm always kind of surprised when those sell really well for me. Okay, now I'm going to repot my Hoya sigillatus. Yeah, this trellis is doing nothing at all, so. Also, it's highly ugly. I don't know how people make trellises completely round, but here's my attempt. It's not cute. Here's my Hoya fungii. I love the big dark leaves on this one, and they're so shiny. Such a cool plant. Ooh, and there's, oh no, it's the same growth point. Oops. Wait. There might be some new growth points on this. Here's my Hoya linearis. It does not look good. I think I'm gonna move it to more of like a hanging pot and hang it back here somewhere. But yeah, I haven't repotted this in a long time. Actually, I don't know that I've ever repotted that plant. Okay, that's why this one's growing well. It's in actual soil. I was not sure because there was like rocks on the top, but they probably just kind of like floated up there. But yeah, that's why this one holds on to moisture a little bit better. I guess it's not, it is growing. It's got 2 new growth points going on. I want it in a round pot though. No, I'm gonna put it back in here so I can remember what it's called. Oh, this is moss. I, for some reason, thought there was like moss on top. got some root rot going on. So this happened to me this time last year also because I mean, it's like traveling season, so I always tend to be out of town for a few days whenever it gets really hot, and I water before I leave, but when it's like 95 degrees for several days, your plants are probably gonna need more water. So yeah, a lot of these kind of fell victim to that. Dang it, that's a bummer. This is probably one of my most favorite, if not my favorite, Hoya. This is my Hoya Clemensorium, and it did finally put out another new leaf. I have heard these are fairly difficult to grow. I hope I can get it to stay down too. Okay, so I'm glad I did end up digging all these up because I found several with root rot, and just because they got too dry, which I mean, this time of year happens really easily. So, and I always struggle more with root rot after plants get too dry rather than them getting too wet for too long. That always seems like a much bigger problem for me. So, little PSA, don't forget to water your Hoyas. Even though they seem really drought tolerant, but they definitely do need a lot of water, especially when it is so hot. Okay, so I'm just loading my Hoyas back into my Hoya cabinet. Okay, so we're back. It's the timeline in this video is pretty weird. I'll admit I've been in a real plant rut, I won't lie. I think it's just because May has been so, I don't know, she just requires a lot of time, so I haven't had as much time for plants, and then that kind of ends up snowballing. So anyway, not the point. I almost tipped my chair over. But anyway, I'm back checking on the plants that had root rot when I did my little repotting all of my Hoyas thing. I think that was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. So yeah, we're just going back and looking at them now. And if you hear a weird background noise, that is May chewing on a bone. Okay, so I'm really glad that this one has roots. This is the Sarawak, and it did grow some new roots. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut the old ones off. those roots look really good and healthy. So I'm gonna change this water out too. So I'm gonna let that keep rooting in water. Okay, so these two I know are doing much, much worse. But we'll just go ahead and see. So Hoya linearis is a plant that I often have trouble propagating, so I'm not surprised. Oh, look how nasty this water is. Gross. Okay, this looks all right. I'm just gonna get a new water cup. I really hope I can make this Hoya linearis make it, because I really like this plant. Honestly, this is just kind of what happens in the summer for me sometimes, is like, it is, I think today it's 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and it is just really hard to keep stuff watered when it is that hot. So this happened to me last year too. I was really, really upset about this one. It's my Hoya serpens, and it is one of my favorite plants. But yeah, sometimes even your favorite plants can get root rot. Ooh, that's real gross. There's a leaf in there. Oh, there's a really fuzzy root on this one. That's part of why I don't like those wood chips, because the roots will just grow like right through them. Dang it. These Hoya roots are really, really fragile. Okay, I'm gonna see if you can see how fuzzy these little roots are. Hopefully that will focus. I've never really seen roots that fuzzy on a Hoya. Okay, that should be a lot better, I hope. I just had to go turn the air conditioner on, so you may be able to hear it, but okay, so we have a learning thermostat, and sometimes, like where it is placed, it's in a room that I don't go into during the day. It's in our living room, and I pretty much only go in there at night. So, and the thing is like really high up, the sensor, so it thinks I'm not home a lot of the time. So it just turns itself off, and it'll get up to like, it goes into eco mode because it's set to do that when we're not home. But then it gets up to like 78, and it's like 100 degrees outside, so I don't like it. I know the dogs probably don't like it. They've never said anything though, but they also can't speak, so. I am gonna take a couple of cuttings off of this just to be safe, I think. Oh, there's a little peduncle. Okay, this is my trash bin. Here's my cutting bin. I really just want to have some backups on this. So I have previously said that I thought Hoya serpens was an easy Hoya, but I'm gonna go ahead and rescind that, because I've had more trouble with this one than a lot of other ones. Like, it needs more water. I accidentally rotted a whole tray of them I was trying to propagate once because I let them get too dry. So that was upsetting. But yeah, I would just, especially if you live somewhere that gets really hot, just really keep an eye on your Hoya serpens, because they are quite a bit thirstier than a lot of other Hoyas. Okay, now I'm just going to take some cuttings of some other stuff that is not struggling So this is a Hoya Induensis, I believe. And it is a really cool leaf shape. So I'm gonna take some cuttings here. Oh, a fungus gnat. Hello. Okay, this plant really needs to be repotted, but I'm trying to decide if I really want to repot this. Oh, see? Or should I wait? I think we need a little water. This is a Hoya, oh, what is this Hoya? I think Walliniana. And this grows really, really well. I got this in a trade, maybe like a year ago. So I'd like to have like a more full pot of that. And then this is a Dischidia hirsuta. I love this one. This is such a cool, yeah, look at these little leaves. These are so cute. So I'm going to be propagating this one. Okay, so I have just like a little tray of Hoya cuttings today. So I'm going to let these callus and then I will put them in moss. Look at my little editing buddies. I really would like to scoot my chair back, but I don't know that I have room. Don't think I do. I'm just gonna suck it up because she's too cute to move. Okay, so I potted up all of the cuttings into moss, and I'm just gonna go ahead and put them in my little grow tent. There's May. There's little May. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Oh. 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 Oh, goodness. Look how big she's getting. Look at that big girl. Can you see her? How about a toy? Look at that cute face. Who is that? She's looking at herself in the mirror. Oh, well, you're blocking the camera now. So I was trying to show you that they're friends now. See? See, look at my two good girls in the same room. Two good dogs. Two very good dogs. Uh-oh. You got May's comb, don't you? Oh, excuse you. There she is. Two good girls.